curvature calculations of the Earth, which we're all very familiar with now that we've been introduced to the topic of flat Earth. The good old 8 inches per mile squared in terms of the tangent line, your line of sight becoming a tangent to the curve of the Earth, and the Earth should fall away at a rate of about 8 inches per mile squared. And, that's an accurate enough mathematical equation. It certainly works in terms of, say, for example, a side view of a geometrical sort of 2D representation of this line of sight. So you have an observer on one end of the curve, and then a target on the other end of the curve, and of course the spherical Earth, at certain distances should block out or obstruct the visibility of these distant target objects. For example, the thing that you're seeing here, which is the world record long distance landscape photography shot, it's over 273 miles away. And once you've done all of the trigonometry and mathematics to this and applied it to a hypothetically spherical Earth, it shows that the tip top of the tallest mountain should be over a half a mile beneath the curve of the Earth. So, in this example, this world record landscape distance photography, which has been the topic of two of my latest flat Earth videos, because it is such a profound piece of evidence showing the Earth to be a plane, what we're actually seeing there is not a mountain that is about, an inch tall. We're seeing a mountain that is 2.5 miles tall that appears to be very small due to perspective. And so what we're witnessing in reality is we're witnessing the operations of perspective, which happen within the human eye. The actual world doesn't obey the laws of perspective from a third person sort of viewpoint. We can only observe the world around us in perspective due to the nature of our eye. And when distant objects when large objects become more and more distant, they apparently diminish in angular size, and our eyes and our brains render that as an apparently smaller and smaller object. That's simply how the operation of perspective works. It's something that happens strictly in the eye of the beholder. It's not something that happens in reality. However, if you are to do, say, a side view curvature calculation or a side view geometrical representation of such a curvature calculation of this world record long distance landscape photography from July 16th of 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Such a side view representation should show the apparent diminution in size of the mountain according to that observer, and it should not show that mountain as being the actual size. And again, the reason being is that observer would witness or would perceive that mountain to diminish in angular size with distance. And if the Earth was a sphere, that mountain would also drop vertically. It would physically descend vertically from that perspective to the point to where the tip top of the tallest peak would be obscured by over a half a mile of the horizon. Now, there are globe Earth clingers and cognitive dissonance dwellers who insist on introducing the idea of standard refraction into such equations, which is patently absurd because refraction of light is shown to always, as a rule, bend towards the higher density gradient. So light is going to bend, if it's traveling through a medium for long distances, light is going to tend to bend towards the higher density medium. And so this means that the distant peak shown here, if the Earth was a sphere, refraction would not magically raise that mountain up by about 3 miles, so that not only can we see the tip top of it, which should be over a half mile under the horizon line, but we can also see the entire base of the mountain, more or less, as well as all of the other mountains in that range, which is absolutely 100% impossible if the Earth was a sphere. Now, refraction aside, or even granting refraction to this argument in favor of the globe, which it absolutely would not favor the globe, but even granting that, it would play such a minuscule effect on the grand scheme of this calculation due to the combination of the factors that I've already mentioned, and I briefly mentioned in a previous video. And again, that combination of factors is the apparent diminution in size due to perspective of distant objects, as well as the actual vertical descent of objects proportionally with distance. But only if the Earth was a sphere, of course. So you would have not only the exponential effect of vertical descent due to an object being distant along an inverse square curve, but you would also need to figure in the apparent diminishment in size or angular size according to the observer himself into this equation. And so when you see things like this 273 mile long landscape photography world record, it is absolute 100% irrefutable evidence that the Earth is not spherical.